From our perspective, what Mavenir System does is very simple. We are trying to ensure that the mobile operators are still relevant in the ecosystem as 3G and 4G devices get prevalent. And the problem that we are trying to solve is everyone assumes that once 4G comes in, and even to a certain extent 3G, that services will be delivered over the top by web application providers like Skype and Google's and all these other players. But our premise is that that market is very fragmented, and really, although like Skype does provide certain value, it's not in their best interest to provide a simple user experience that is global in terms of interoperability with other networks, let's say between Yahoo, Skype, MSN, messengers, things like that from messaging perspective or VoIP perspective. So we believe that I think the mobile operators really have an opportunity to provide a better user experience by offering many of these services themselves, like voice over IP, whether it's VoLTE or voice over Wi-Fi, or messaging services, right? From a user experience perspective, if you look at it, right, if I want to chat with somebody on Skype, we actually have to SMS each other and say, let's get on Skype, and then start doing voice calls or messaging. So we're really trying to enable the operator to provide a better user experience because they control the network. They have in some countries, they have more control over devices and mobile devices. So from a user experience perspective, what we provide is the technologies and the network side to provide simplicity to the end user. But I think you mentioned, Sunil, a little bit earlier, right? I think the biggest challenge is really the fear of the unknown, right? In the mobile industry, everything was highly standards driven, and even from a services perspective, how the mobile phone actually works, the red button, the green button to accept and reject calls was fundamentally defined in standards, and the users pretty much learned a universal experience. The challenge going forward is, nobody knows how the user experience is going to be. Yes, Apple defined certain services today. Skype is defining VoIP. There's a multitude of experiences on how voice messages and video services get delivered. And really, there's no one answer. And it's a fear of that at least our customer base or mobile operator are unsure of. And that's one of the challenges, right? So it's not about technology, right? Most of the discussions that we have is really trying to help mobile operators figure out and define a user experience, right? The challenge is exactly what the user experience is going to be, right? Means, is it going to be branded, non-branded? Is it going to be embedded versus a client-based experience? There's a lot of questions and unknowns, and our recommendation really around that is to, really understand your customers. So what we are telling our mobile operators it depends upon your customer base, right? So if you have a customer base that is not that technically savvy, you want the user experience to be simple, embedded. They should know that there's new services going on in the background. And for the technically savvy people, you have a different user experience. So you have to really define the user experience. I don't think the world is now going into an area where you have one user experience that fits all, right? You have to offer some personalized user experiences and really learn from the market, launch some services, launch one or two user experiences, learn from the market, adapt, and then constantly evolve.